morning and welcome viewers. They say that an informed mind is a powerful mind. So we hope you are ready to begin your day with the latest headlines. From DD News Studio, we welcome you to the Breakfast News. Now, the headlines. Union Tourism Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said the Northeast is set to emerge as a major growth engine for India's tourism economy. JCOM-SWA President Marshal S.B. Biam was admitted to hospital after days of indefinite hunger strike demanding the resumption of coal mining activities in the district. The Reboy Youth Federation has sought an inquiry into the admission of 4 students from Assam and Bihar at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in a high-level session at the G7 summit in Evian, France, focused on strengthening international partnerships and solidarity. The government has restricted access to Telegram in India until June 22nd ahead of the NEET UG 2026 re-examination scheduled for June 21st. Here are the local news. Union Tourism Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat yesterday said the Northeast is set to emerge as a major growth engine for India's tourism economy. Speaking at the Northeast India Infrastructure Summit, an exhibition 2026 in Shillong, he said the Northeast offers a complete tourism experience. Referring to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of the region as Ashtalakshmi, Shekhawat noted that improved connectivity and rapid infrastructure development are unlocking new opportunities for tourism and economic growth. He expressed confidence that the growing interest shown by industry stakeholders at the summit would help transform the Northeast into a leading tourism hub in the country.
We have witnessed meaningful discussions on connectivity, on sustainability, investment, technology, and regional cooperation. These conversations have reinforced a simple truth, that infrastructure is not merely about physical assets. It is about expanding opportunity and opening the doors. It is about connecting people to the markets, communities to services, and aspirations to results and outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday Honorable Union Minister of Surface Transport, Honorable Nitin Gadkari ji, he described infrastructure as the growth engine of the Northeast and spoke about investment to around 90,000 crores in road and highway projects across the any region. His remarks reflected the scale of ambition with which India is approaching the development of Northeast.
JCOM-SWA President Marshal S.B. Biam was admitted to Woodland Hospital in Jowai after days of indefinite hunger strike demanding the resumption of coal mining activities in the district. JCOM-SWA members and his family accompanied him to the hospital, and the association clarified that no allegations have been made against anyone regarding his hospitalization. The hunger strike has not been called off, with Jesbutho of Rimbai village taking over the protests on behalf of the association. Meanwhile, JCOM-SWA is scheduled to meet the Chief Secretary of Meghalaya today at 2:30 p.m. The Ribhoy Youth Federation has sought an inquiry into the admission of 4 students from Assam and Bihar at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Nyangbari, alleging they were admitted under quotas meant for Umling and Umsning blocks. RBYF leaders said the admissions could affect opportunities for local students and raised concerns over the use of residential certificates. Deputy Commissioner Dr. Abhishek Saini assured the delegation that a thorough investigation would be conducted into the matter.
Penegapor da komisim ka baso kya batka baso bitar nakaliang jungi kum karbohid federation adin bengilayo ya kini ki list jong kita ki khna ki ba de na sabar jong jilla bat sabar jong district ka penlong ini karbohid federation ba ini sakman nomor ba kum ba ka pausha hang ni kalong ba mo kadon udak jingkli ba he let's say kumno ba kini kikna na sabar jong jalla kiyo bandung kertat lane banso singan lane banyo rung laitlut hagbai dei bat kajing rung school hapo JNV ni so ban penpau ba mo kini kike berkhot kanlong hagijing peniat ka bakut ka basuba nagaliang jong pi kum kinong elam ka bor district ba pinpet ba pinbenya kanang ba kanung don kanung no gijing donong hagbai dei bat kinong songsnong jong ka Hamri boy lane kiwi ru di distrik ibahap apo kejala biit jungi.
Now the regional news. Four traditional products from Assam have been awarded Geographical Indication or the GI tax, further strengthening the state's cultural and artisanal heritage. The products are Silpa Assamese bamboo craft, Karbi Anglong handloom, Bihu, Pepa and Deodri handloom products. Union Minister Jyotira Ditya Scindia described the recognition as a proud milestone, saying it highlights the rich traditions and unique heritage of the Akshta Lakshmi states. And now, the national news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in a high-level session at the G Summit in Evian, France, focused on strengthening international partnerships and solidarity. Prime Minister Modi said India and the G7 nations would continue working together for global prosperity and sustainable development. On the sidelines of the summit, he held bilateral talks with the leaders of Canada, the United Kingdom and the UAE, and also attended a gala dinner hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. Director General Abhishek Singh, the government has restricted access to the telegram in India until June 22nd ahead of the NEET UG 2026 re-examination scheduled for June 21st. The National Testing Agency said the move aims to prevent misuse of the platform by cheating rackets and curb false claims of the question paper leaks. Telegram has also been directed to disable its message editing feature until June 30th to ensure the secure conduct of the examination.
See, the commitment of the government is to conduct a safe, secure examination. As far as use of IF and all is there, it's because of the functional requirement. Because this time after the exam was cancelled, we are conducting this examination in 37 days. On 15th of May, it was announced that the examination will be conducted on 21st June. Normally, preparation for this exam requires 5 to 6 months. So when you have to compress everything, the time taken to set the question papers without any malpractice, the time taken to proofread them, the time taken to translate them in 13 Indian languages, the time taken to print them, 22 lakh question papers, multiple sets, and then the time taken to transport it. So we have tried to compress every step in this whole process for us to be able to conduct this examination in 37 days. So transportation normally would take 15 to 20 days. So in order to compress that time, Ministry of Defence and Indian Air Force were happy, they offered their services. So that has helped us in compressing that 15 to 20 days of movement to around 3 to 4 days. So that has helped in being ensuring that the examination is conducted as early as possible, because if the results are delayed, the medical semester will be delayed. It will have a trickle-down effect on the entire academic cycle. So what happened on 3rd of May was unfortunate, but what the government has done is brought all machinery together. Every institution of government is helping NTA in the interest of 22 lakh students to be able to ensure we are able to do the exam in a timely manner. As far as the action on Telegram is concerned, it may appear to be a sledgehammer, but when it is the interest of the students, when the interest of lives of the students.
And now, let's take a look at the international news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to hold a highly anticipated bilateral meeting with US President Donald Trump today on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Evian, France. The two leaders are expected to discuss ways to deepen India-US cooperation and exchange views on important regional and global issues. During the summit, Prime Minister Modi highlighted India's humanity-first approach and stressed the importance of trust in international partnerships, citing initiatives such as the International Solar Alliance and Mission Life. Besides meeting President Trump, the Prime Minister will participate in discussions on global economic growth and artificial intelligence. International crude oil prices continued to decline on Tuesday amid growing optimism over ongoing US-Iran talks and plans to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude briefly fell below $80 a barrel, while US benchmark WTI crude settled at $76.88 per barrel. Prices have dropped for 3 consecutive trading sessions, following reports of progress in negotiations between Washington and Tehran. However, crude oil prices remain higher than levels recorded before the conflict involving the US, Israel and Iran escalated earlier this year. India has provided military stores worth $5.5 million to the Sri Lanka army free of cost, reaffirming the close defence ties between the two countries. The supplies were delivered to Colombo aboard Indian naval ship Sharda and formally handed over the presence of senior Indian and Sri Lankan officials. The assistance is part of India's continued support for Sri Lanka under its neighbourhood first policy and efforts to strengthen regional security and cooperation. And now, in sports. France got their FIFA World Cup 2026 campaign off to a winning start with a 3-1 victory over Senegal. The African side held the 2022 runners-up until the 66th minute before Kylian Mbappe broke the deadlock from a Michael Olise assist. Substitute Bradley Barcola doubled France's advantage while Mbaye pulled one back for Senegal. Mbappe then sealed the win with his second goal of the match, helping France secure all 3 points in their opening Group 1 encounter. Furthermore, Argentina began their World Cup campaign with a major win against Algeria in Group J, scoring 3-0. Norway began their FIFA World Cup 2026 campaign with a convincing 4-1 victory over Iraq. Manchester City striker Erling Haaland started with a brace, scoring first in the 29th minute before adding his second after capitalizing on a goalkeeping error. Ayman Hussein had earlier equalized for Iraq with a superb header, but also scored an unfortunate goal late in the match. Leo Østegård was the other scorer for Norway as they secured all 3 points in their opening Group I fixture. Now the weather report. First, let's take a look at the weather report in Tura. Minimum temperature 24 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 29 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 79% and the rainfall 2.6 millimeter. Moving on to Shillong, minimum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 25 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 88% and rainfall 15.2 millimeters. Meanwhile, in Jowai, minimum temperature 20 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 25 degrees Celsius, and the relative humidity is 91%, rainfall 5 millimeter. And the forecast, Tura will likely experience moderate rain, while Shillong and Jowai will likely witness heavy rain with thunderstorm at many places. Union Tourism Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said the Northeast is set to emerge. Union Tourism Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said the Northeast is set to emerge as a major growth engine for India's tourism economy. JCOM SWA President Marshal SBBM was admitted to Woodland Hospital in Jowai after days of indefinite hunger strike demanding the resumption of coal mining activities in the district. The Reboy Youth Federation has sought an inquiry into the admission of 4 students from Assam and Bihar at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in a high-level session at the G7 summit in Evian, France, focused on strengthening international partnerships and solidarity. The government has restricted access to Telegram in India until June 22nd ahead of the NEET UG 2026 re-examination scheduled for June 21st. Thank you for watching the Breakfast News. Stay tuned for the Khasi News Bulletin coming up next. You can also follow us on our social media platforms for the latest news updates. Until then, this is Daphne Kharkongor signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead.